What's up, guys? It's Mark Russell, Clarity Market CEO, licensed insurance adjuster, and certified arborist. And today we're going to talk about entering into fool's arguments. We're going to keep it really short. The overarching concept here is anytime a homeowner hires you for an hourly rate, the rate is known ahead of time. They're according to the Department of Justice, to have an open, free, efficient marketplace. There should be no coordination in between any of the market competitors. There should be no artificial suppression. There should be no artificial market manipulation, no cartels, no monopsonies, no monopolies. It should be the most open and free marketplace available, efficient. That's what supports the consumer. The whole idea of Clarity Market is to be able to shine light into across multiple boundaries through the obscurity, to be able to illustrate to an adjuster after the work is done how much the job would have cost had that homeowner gone with someone else instead of your company. The whole idea being, I'm a believer that we should charge hourly rates, whether it's $1 an hour, $1,000 an hour. Not talking about value. I'm talking about the fact that just like some of the leading market software for establishing value for claims is based on hourly, we should all have hourly. And I believe we should present that hourly to the homeowner for this reason. I've done 450 jobs in the last two and a half years. Not one of those jobs did I go out and give a price ahead of time. I just sent my rates to the homeowner. They saw it online. They agreed. We deployed instantly. So 450 jobs where I never went and did one estimate ahead of time. At the end of the job, we created the invoice. We submitted to the carrier. The problem was oftentimes this homeowner didn't have competing estimates. That's what Clarity Market will do. Let me show you exactly. I'll show you how it works, but I do want to touch on one thing, because what I've run into over the last few years dealing with adjusters is effectively dealing with the idea of a fool's argument. So they have clung to some of the software that's out there that says, oh, this is what the price should be, that doesn't really track the market completely with all of the variables, right? And I'm not going to go deep into that subject, but we all know that it costs money to drive, 5 or 6 trucks down to Tampa, for example, or Fort Myers for Hurricane Ian. That's going to cost me 20 G's at least, maybe 30 G's just to move my team down there for a few days until we get up and running. It's expensive. So the software that they have right now doesn't take into consideration the market fluctuations as they happen instantly. And even for that matter, if all of the tree services leave Atlanta to go down to service Fort Myers, what about the one that's left? He's the only option. Maybe he gets busy. Maybe his daughter has a birthday party and he doesn't want to go, and it's kind of like the Zillow thing, make me move, right? Maybe he's like, hey, I'm the only one here. If you want me to come, I'll bring my crane, but it'll run you. And so, the point is it's a free and open marketplace, but the software that's based on past pricing can never understand. And so sometimes we as an industry will go and say, hey, can we get a comparable from someone else, right? The problem with those comparables is oftentimes that person writing the comparable may be, number one, half the time they're a service provider for the carrier, or maybe they're a friend of the tree service. There's all sorts of weird things that happen. Clarity Market, I believe, is a system that says, hey, look, here's our market rates. Another guy says, here's our market rates. The one thing is the categories are the same, right? We all have cranes, we all have bobcats, we all have labor, we all have climbers, etc. So now we create the market. We know the categories, then we all just compete on rates. That's the whole idea with Clarity Market. Now, the one thing I'm going to just, with a little bit of reservation, I'm going to show you this verse because of this. There's a proverb that says, don't answer a fool according to his folly, or you'll be like that fool. Okay, but answer a fool according to his folly, or he'll be wise in his own eyes. So the idea is, if there's a guy, a fool, and he has misinformation, and you go starting to argue, say, no, let me show you. You're entering an argument about a body of data, his misinformation that may not, like if the adjuster says, hey, I have the right database of what this should be, and you start fighting with him on that, that's a fool's argument, right? But then, so then you become a fool if you start arguing. But the problem with it is if you leave the argument and say, hey, I can't do that, if he decides to stay a fool instead of trying to learn, then he'll be wise and say, oh, see, he doesn't want to participate in the true market. Well, here's the deal. Let's talk about the true market. Let me show you a couple pictures of what true markets look like. Okay, true markets. Let's look at Mansell Road. This is over near my house, okay? So this is a true market. This is a unit-based situation where we have a gallon of gas at $3.99. Then you come right over here, there's another gallon of gas at $3.99. These are two competitors. They're competing for business. And let's look at what it was. 2015, they weren't. 2015, there was only one. Okay? So he ruled the roost, right? So he didn't have, who knows what, 269 there. Just out of curiosity, let's just go up the road and see if these guys right up here, what were these guys at the time? I'm curious. Was there a competitive, what? No, that's not right. That's a different time frame. Let's skip across the road and see. This is definitely not 351 and 269. Let's see. So we're hitting different time frames, I think, because sometimes these, anyway. Okay, so this is a true open, free, efficient marketplace, right? Let's go back to March 2022, and here we have it, $3.99 for a gallon of gas, $3.99. That's one example of an open and free marketplace. Let's go to another one. Okay, some of you guys know I like to box it up a little. Okay, so this is an open and free marketplace. So here we have Hayabusa Pro boxing shoes. Okay, so for a Hayabusa Pro boxing shoe, we're talking about $99, brand new. Now look at free marketplace, brand new, $250, right? I wonder how many these guys have. How many left? Like, the point is, what if we had a job that was $10,000 and then another job, another competitor said, no, I'm going to be 2.5 times that. That's 25,000. So we see examples like, in this example, the price is tight, but I guarantee you back in 2015, that price might not have been as tight, right? When he was the only guy here, there's pressure. There's a different amount of pressure. 2015. So point being, guys, these are two examples of open and efficient marketplaces. And so the question is, are we entering into a fool's argument? Let's look at how our marketplace changes, right? Let's just look at how our marketplace changes. Okay, let me show you a little bit about how Clarity Market works. Okay, this is Atlanta, Georgia again. Clarity Market basically will allow you to set your rates and your radius that you'll drive. So let's take a job and let's pretend there's a job on the north side of Atlanta, okay? So on the north side of Atlanta, we have, let's put a competitor here and take another competitor here. Okay, so now on the north side of Atlanta, there's someone who has a tree falling on their house, and let's just say he happens to find this guy. So he finds this guy, he sees his reviews, he says, this guy's pretty good. I like this guy, I've worked with him before. Hey, let's go ahead and hire him. So what happens is that tree service does the job. He has his contract online through Clarity Market. He's filled out all of his 35 hourly rates, which is embedded straight into his contract. Your legalese, your lawyer does your own contract. The only thing that gets embedded is the pricing that you set. So then the guy comes in, says, hey, I want to hire him. I agree with your terms and conditions. I agree with your pricing. Hits go. The guy comes and the tree service goes and does the job. Then he logs into Clarity Market after the job and he enters, creating the invoice, entering the hours for each one of these units. Now, here's the beautiful part, and here's where we're not getting into the foolishness. We're dealing with the actual true price. This is example 1. So in example 1, once this guy right here creates the invoice, the system will automatically sense out which other of these tree services, which would have been this guy, 2, 3, and 4. 4 other guys overlapped this one homeowner. So they are actual market participants. Just like all of these guys are market participants for this search query right now. Point is, time is important too. Right now, here's an open and free marketplace, vendors with their goods on offer. And then here's an open and free, a slice of time for an open and free marketplace, which was April 2022. Okay, slice of time, vendors competing. Okay, this is an open and free marketplace. So this would be an open and free marketplace. The homeowner chose this guy. He creates the invoice. Here's how we get out of the fool's argument through Clarity Market, is because when the tree service creates the invoice, the software automatically uses those hours, but rebuilds the invoice to create accurate comps from who? From these 4 guys who have already entered their pricing, who were servicing that particular address at the time. Okay, at the time. Is this person relevant? No. They had a crane, sure. But I mean, what if this guy was over here? Is that guy a relevant competitor in the marketplace? No. No more relevant than someone else who's not on offer to this particular customer, right? This particular customer lives here. So you've got these particular guys who service that particular customer. That's the true market. The beauty of this system, guys, is it allows the homeowner, because what I had happen is at the end of the job, yeah, sure, I had an invoice and I had pre-printed pricing agreed to, but what I didn't have is a homeowner that had 5 other estimates in hand. So when I submitted the invoice, the carriers are like, oh, we don't like it, we don't like it. Well, okay, I know I'm not the least expensive, but I also know that there are other guys who charge the same rates I do, right? And there's something to be said for having that crane available right now. One thing that Clarity Market won't allow to have happen is a guy come in and say, oh, I'll charge, X amount for a crane, but I don't really own it, but I'll go rent it. If I get a job, I'll rent it. No, you can't do that. If you're going to say, and that's the only, look, chainsaws are a dime a dozen, bobcats are a dime a dozen. Everybody has them. Cranes are very special. They're expensive, up to $1 million, $1.5 million a piece, right? So if you're going to participate and say that you have a crane on Clarity Market, you have to prove you have a crane. Okay, it would be like, hey, we'll sell you a gallon of gas, but we don't have any gas. That's not a true competitor, right? Or, hey, we'll sell you this pair of brand new shoes for $8, but you're going to have to wait for, like there's sometimes even on Amazon, it's the super cheap price. Yeah, it's a cheap price, but they don't have the stuff in stock and you got to wait 8 weeks for it. That's not a competitor for someone who needs the service now. Okay, let's look at how Clarity Market tracks the market out of town as well, because that's the beautiful part about this system. Okay, and hopefully it will show most specifically how the price varies during national disasters. So we just had Hurricane Ian recently go through. Let's say the majority of these competitors say, you know what, we're going down to Fort Myer. We know there's some work down there, so we're taking off. But this one guy says, nah, it's my daughter's birthday coming up on whatever day. I'm going to stay back. Maybe I'll catch some jobs here. Okay. So now all of a sudden, these guys have all incurred higher costs. They have moved because remember, Clarity Market allows you to move your deployment. This is the patent pending functionality, is wherever you deploy from, you set a radius, and that's your area. That's the market that you're participating in, right? These guys right here, guys, these guys are not selling fuel in Phoenix, Arizona. They are selling fuel in Alpharetta, Georgia, right? This is the market they're participating. These guys are offering fuel in Alpharetta, Georgia, right? Not in Phoenix, Arizona. So going back over here, these guys are incurring costs, okay? Cost of travel, cost of extra advertising, per diem, double, triple labor sometimes, expense to bring fuel in, advertising expense. A buddy of mine was sitting right in Northport, okay, right at the rotunda, right here. And he actually had he had a marketing area that was about, oh shoot, where is he? Okay, he had a marketing area that just included Fort Myers, about that big. Guys, he was spending $4,000 a day for 7 calls. And this is the thing, guys. This is the darkness that I'm talking about. Okay? The fool's argument. We face accusations. Price gougers, I can't believe it. And like, dude, what do you think it costs to move all this gear down? I'm spending 4 G's a day for 7 phone calls. And then, yeah, the point is that without true accurate data, we can't display, or we can't have truth, right? There's another verse, and sorry to get all biblical on you, but there's a verse, what's lacking cannot be counted. It's in Ecclesiastes, right? In other words, if it's lacking, if it's got a cavity, a void, it's not a whole complete thing. You can't finish the set. It's not true, right? And that's what Clarity Market aims to do, is to try to like this guy right here, okay? He incurred costs. Here he is. Let's say he catches a job right here, okay? Now all of a sudden, when he builds that invoice out, the system will recreate the invoice for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other comps that now can be handed to the customer. If the tree service is collecting directly from the customer, here you go. Now you have 5 comps plus mine to submit to the insurance company to get reimbursed, or to submit to the insurance company, period. Point is, guys, this is accurate information that takes into consideration the travel time. Let's look at one last example. Remember the birthday example? Check this out. What about this guy up here? He's like, nah, my daughter's birthday is coming up. Whatever. My wife's birthday, I can't leave. And right on that day, right here, same guy, next door neighbor, other part of the codominant falls on the neighbor's house. It says, hey, I use this guy, blah, 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 blah. Why don't you use him? Calls him up. Now all of a sudden, this guy, he has every right in the world to change his rates, especially on a day he doesn't want to go out. He can change them. He can go up and look, he's the only one. Don't you think that if there was nobody else on here, this 256 might be 356? Think about Air Jordans, guys. Air Jordans from the 90s and 2000s. Like a few sets left. The Pokemon card. Whatever one it is that Jake Paul carries around. Stinking things are rare. Supply and demand. Bottom line is, we should not be set up against past situations that don't accurately reflect. Most specifically, because this is not repair, guys. This is mitigation. Okay, mitigation, we leave. And by the way, if you're going to join up, and please do, join up. It's free of charge. Fill out your pricing. Doesn't cost you a thing. And you get access to free classes about how to run your business, bill insurance, understand insurance, coverage A, coverage B, coverage C, indemnification, all that good stuff. And that's free, right? One day we may charge for this software. I just decided, man, I cannot enter into. That's it, guys. It's just, listen, I don't want to answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. I got so sick of entering into these foolish, faulty arguments. I rewrote it. Don't argue about issues based out of misinformation or an incomplete data set, or you'll be taking a stand on one side or the other about that misinformation as if it's countable. It's not countable because it's flawed. Okay? Answer a misinformed believer according to his information, or he'll believe he was right regardless. So guys, here's the deal. We've built this platform for you guys. It is the most accurate way to serve the client quickly, to never go out on an estimate. Okay, just put your pricing on the thing and deploy quick. And then at the end, you'll get the comps. And you'll get the comps, which is the same net result of getting the estimates up front, but without having the homeowner have to live underneath all that danger. Guys, it's a ridiculously beautiful system. And my hope, I don't think it'll be a panacea. I think that it'll take a while. At the end of the day, I hope that there will be less court. Because at the end of the day, I think the insurance companies need to have clear, accurate picture into, they need to see something like this. They need to see it, okay? That's accurate. What is this? Does this include the United Kingdom? Well, maybe this does, but not everything else, right? Does this include shipping to, like Antarctica? Maybe not. So that's not part of the market. We need very accurate to specific marketplaces. Okay? This is very specific. This guy and this guy are the two vendors on this corner. And that's, one other vendor way up there, right? But right here, these are the competitors going to town on each other. There will eventually be, once we get enough people signed up, there will be a directory. Okay? Optional directory that you can take part in or not. It's going to be up to you. So that's it, guys. Sign up. I hope that this kind of clears up the idea of misinformation, getting into false arguments. I can't stand them, and I'm hoping that the Clarity Market kind of clears some of that up. Okay, guys, sign up for free. And to date this video a little bit, come visit us at the TCIA show. We're launching this week. Here in just a couple weeks, or here in a couple days, at the TCIA show up in Charlotte. You guys take it easy. Sign up for free at claritymarket.com. Y'all take care.